This is Shawn Crystal. Catch the Inkpulp podcast on PharcydeTV Wednesdays at noon Pacific Time, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Come hang. Peace.
Yo, the price of games, rise up, standard price, the loss of legs. My occupation, in essence, not complacent. Block the banquet, stop the computation. I'ma make the coda, fools just wanna make the quota. They can't rock around here, they need baking soda. This a hydra, no way they taking over. Lay them below the basement with snakes and cobras.
This is the Inkpulp podcast. This is the Inkpulp podcast. Comics, hip hop, life. Welcome back to the Inkpulp podcast. Today is part 2 in our series of panel transitions. And just to recap, storytelling is communicating ideas with words and pictures. And those pictures exist in an area known as the panel. And how you get your reader from one panel to the next panel without confusing them is basically storytelling. So Scott McCloud, in his book Understanding Comics, came up with this idea that there's 6 types of panel transitions. Last episode we covered moment to moment. Today we're going to cover another one. Today we are going to cover action to action. So moment to moment deals with time passing. A small increment of time, not a large passage of time. So when I think of action to action, I think of action and reaction. It can be moment to moment because time is passing, but something is happening beyond simply time passing. And that something is a cause and a reaction. It's kind of how I think about it. So let's demonstrate and talk about, and maybe it'll make more sense. So let's say we've got 2 panels. And as I'm laying these out, I am going to talk about setting, composition, because storytelling is so involved. It is so involved. All right, so let's say down here is a body of water. How do you know that's a body of water? This is where adding your visuals is really important. Let's say there's a cliff right here. Okay? And what can we add to this to make it evident this is a cliff and this is a body of water? Also, things I'm thinking about. Basically what I'm going to have is we're going to have this diver jumping off a cliff. I'm going to silhouette it just so that we can focus on the clarity of the shape we're doing. Okay, so I know the action is the dive. The reaction is going to be him entering the water. So I want to leave some space here for the splash. And it also allows the reader's eye to travel down with the movement. That's key. So some other things we can do. Let's say we can put some more rocks in the water. Okay. And also one thing that helps is when dealing with water is you can put that shape in there and get a little reflection. And it starts to read like water a little bit. The other thing we can do is we can add some, and again, I'm thumbnailing, so I'm using a very shorthand language. I'm not trying to make pretty pictures, I'm trying to make a clear language. We can add some trees up here, maybe some bushes. And now we've got, maybe we can even, if we choose to, frame him in the sunlight. And I could put more information down here, but I want to leave that open for the next panel. So this right here is panel 1 in our action to action sequence. All right, so panel 2, what I want to do is create this static background so that the change is what's dramatically felt. I find that when things stay the same everywhere except for one area, that smaller area of change is more evident because nothing else has changed. So I'm just going to, and if I wanted it to be perfectly identical, I would just lightbox it. But for the lecture's sake, just going to try to get as close as we can. Okay, so we're getting there. We've got a tree up here. We had a bush there, we'll continue it there. We had the sun there. Just going to darken in, make sure it's showing up on camera. Okay, and then what we're going to have here is this entry point into the water. I'm just marking out the space real quick. And then we can have the diver's legs kind of coming out. Skadoosh, splash, and this is actually a good place for a little sound effect. Splash. So everything's the same except for the placement of our diver, and therefore that is more evident. So what we have here is action to action. Sure, time has passed, but we've got an action occurring, a jump and an entrance into the water, and that to me is what makes it action to action, cause and reaction. I like to think about it that way. With all of these types of panel transitions, there is some level of interpretation that you can take ownership of if you want. It's not an exact science, but to me, this is what action to action is. So I hope you found this helpful. Now you've got 2 types of panel transitions you can work on. If you're liking this information and you want to study this further, please come to inkpulpinstruction.com. Link in the description below. And there you will see all these episodes teaching you how to draw, how to be a comic book artist, and all these things, one of which will be called Foundational Storytelling, which these 6 panel transitions can be found within, amongst a whole bunch of other information about basic storytelling. And I'm going to be throughout the year releasing more and more focused on storytelling, but there's all kinds of other stuff there. So please come over to Inkpulp Instruction, get a subscription. In the lessons subscription, you get access to all the videos as much as you want. Watch them whenever you want, as many times as you want. That's a monthly subscription. The other monthly subscription that that works well in conjunction with it is called the Classroom, and that gives you access to my virtual classroom space where I am very involved and available as a teacher for you. So I'll see you over there, hopefully, and if not, I'll see you on the next episode. We'll cover the next panel transition. Peace. This is the Inkpulp Podcast. This is the Inkpulp Podcast. Comics. Hip hop. Life.